Charles to purchase his freedom, which was possible to do during our Spanish colonial period. So the year before this house was completed, Charles was able to purchase his freedom. He was paid corn and was given a slave and a few other things as payment for building this house. The other thing that I want you to keep in mind as we tour the house is that this house was built by Creoles. Now, what is a Creole? Well, that definition or that word could be argued for quite a long time. But I think generally speaking, Creole means born in the colony. So folks, I think we have some gravel down here. We're not trying to keep you out. Let me see what is here. Here we go. I think he was...
No, he was looking for you. Then he said we'll catch the next tour, and then he walked away.
Okay. I thought you were all going to do the next tour.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Okay, Creole. Born in the colony. So if your parents had been born in Europe or even in Africa, and you came here when we were a colony, you would be Creole. And you would carry on all the customs and traditions of Creole society. And you would pass those down onto your children. Generally speaking, Creoles did not build in opulent ways. They did not flash their money in the way they built their homes and plantations. This was a working plantation. All of the Destrahans had homes in New Orleans, which was the French Quarter. If they had any opulence, it would have been in their homes in the city. Jean-Noel Destrahan, in addition to owning this plantation, was involved in politics. He was involved in writing the first state constitution. He was also elected to the state legislature. And interestingly enough, folks, he was elected to the U.S. Senate. But Jean-Noel Destrahan was a Creole, and he did not see eye to eye with all of those Americans. And he refused to take his seat in the Senate. So I don't know how many of our senators today, if they did not see eye to eye with their compatriots in the Senate, would walk away as Jean-Noel Destrahan did, okay? So, I don't know if you all have been to the Jefferson Room yet. We have a document signed by Thomas Jefferson appointing Jean-Noel Destrahan and 3 other local men to a committee to write that state constitution. I see that we have a number of young scholars with us, so they might like to see that document with Thomas Jefferson's signature, and under it is James Madison, who was Secretary of State at the time, became the next president. So, we're downstairs in this house. When this house was constructed, it was constructed as a French colonial house. Down here would have been used primarily for storage. There was no formal dining room in here. They did eat down here. All right? So what we're going to do now, I'm going to take you in this room because I want you to meet someone we have waiting for you in here. Okay? I want everyone to Marguerite. Okay, folks, now, this was the butler's pantry, okay? The food was cooked out in the kitchen, okay? The kitchen was always far away from the main house because of fear of fire. Then it was sent over to a room right outside this door called the warming kitchen, No heavy cooking done in there. Meats were cut, salads made, gravies made, and then the food was brought in here, the butler's pantry that housed the china, the linen, tableware, silverware, glassware, those kinds of things. And young kids were also fed in here because a meal could last 2 or 3 hours, and until they had the manners and wherewithal, they were fed in here. Now, I want to introduce you to Marguerite. Marguerite was born in French colonial Louisiana in 1740. She was born at another plantation, and when she was born, Marguerite was enslaved at birth. Why was Marguerite a slave at birth? It was because her mother was a slave. The status of the child depended solely on the status of the mother. Father's situation had nothing whatsoever to do with that. At the first plantation, Marguerite had a family, but she was purchased by Robin de Launay and brought to his plantation. According to the rules of the day, as dictated by the Code Noir, Marguerite was able to bring only her 2 youngest children with her to this plantation. But while at Robin de Launay's plantation, she did develop a relationship with another man and gave birth to 3 daughters. Marguerite lived to be 70 years of age. She lived long enough to see all of her children except one, either dead or sold elsewhere. One of her daughters who was born on the plantation was named Marguerite. Marguerite did not become a cook and a laundress like her mother. Marguerite became a field hand. She worked out in the fields. Okay? So I did want you all to meet Marguerite. All right? Now, we're going to make our way to the back of this room. And we're going to go down these 2 steps right here. Okay, folks. So, folks, as a French colonial house, down here would have been open all the way around this building, okay? And upstairs, the gallery would also have been open all the way around the house. But in 1840, Louise Destrehan and her husband Pierre Ross owned this house. The house was 50 years old. They decided to do a renovation. The style of the day was Greek Revival, so they did a Greek Revival renovation. And that is when they closed down here. They enclosed the back part of the gallery. They added these 2 staircases, and this door became the main entrance to the house. Okay? Now, folks, we have 2 staircases. It is not true that one was for men and one was for women. This was a French family, men and women socialized together. Okay? The hardware is a little low on the door, as are the risers on the steps, not as tall as risers are today, because in the days we're talking about, women were about 4 feet 11 and men 5 foot 4. So this accommodates their stature. So we're going to make our way upstairs. Everyone for the stairs, okay? Come on in. You all might want to start taking a look at this model of the French house. Folks, this is a model of the French house. Okay, folks, this model of the French house, the river would be out here. You all can see how the gallery and the bottom floor will open all the way around the house. Look at where the staircases are. Not only were they in the back of the house, but they were outside. So perhaps we know one of the reasons why Pierre and Louise Ross decided to do that renovation. I think they must have gotten tired of going outside to go up or down. The other thing, Pierre Ross was a state Supreme Court judge. I think he probably did not want to have to take his hoity-toity friends outside to go upstairs where he lived. So he enclosed the back gallery. Now, when this house was built, no nails were used. This house was made with a mortise and tenon joint held together with a wooden peg. Nails existed. Nails have existed since Roman times, but a wooden peg made for a much tighter and more secure joint because the wooden peg would expand and contract with the rest of the wood. So we've kept this part of the attic open so you can see that construction. So if you want to take a walk around, you're welcome to do so. But I'm going to go ahead and keep talking.